What's up, y'all? Welcome back for another reaction video. We are going to be looking at Mass Effect Legendary Edition changes, original versus remastered performance review. Now, I'm a big fan of Mass Effect. I always try to compare RPG games to Mass Effect, Dragon Age, The Witcher, the top 3 RPG games in my opinion. Those 3 games are like the main those are the prime examples of what an RPG are supposed to play like and look like. Well, not look like, but play like. Those 3 games are the standard. If you don't meet them standards, then I'm not interested. You know, like Mass Effect, a sci-fi role-playing game. If you like sci-fi stuff like Star Trek and all that, Mass Effect is for you. If you like Dragon Age, that's fantasy with dragons, like the Game of Thrones or whatever, that's for you. If you like The Witcher, that's sort of like the Game of Thrones. That's sort of like the Game of Thrones, but it's not dragons, I think. There's no Is there dragons in The Witcher? And I'm not shocked about them coming out with this. I'm not. Like this is for the new fans that like want to get into Mass Effect. Mass Effect 1 needed a remaster. They needed to, like, the gameplay was outdated. The graphics still held up, you know. They still held up to like a certain point, you know, like the graphics weren't that bad. Mass Effect 2 is good, Mass Effect 3 is good. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of new people are gonna be playing this Legendary Edition. A lot of new people, and don't get me wrong, a lot of fans from like way back in the day who played all these games when they first came out, they are gonna play this too because they want to remaster, like on PC. And I don't think it's looking like this, but like there's like mods on there that like give you like a full remaster of all 3 games, I think too. And I think this is the right way of doing it because they actually went in and actually tweaked stuff, changed stuff around, made stuff look more shiny and all that. So yeah, so I'm excited for this Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Let's get into it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to check the links down below, and if you want me to react to any video, put it down below in the comment section. I'll try my best to react to it when I can. Let's get into this. Let's see what they changed. I'm really interested in seeing. I'm really interested. I'm a big Mass Effect fan. Big Mass Effect fan. Let's see what they changed. Ooh, that looks
in 2007,
way better.
set the
Like
bar
it
for what players expected.
And the lighting is gonna be the big difference.
Era. It was entirely voice acted, used a branching conversation system that allowed for different outcomes in each situation, and promised to have narrative ties that would last the entire trilogy. Pitched over dinner by Casey Hudson as a sci-fi RPG, he believed that it would become a mainstream phenomenon and a must-have game for the Xbox 360. Fast forward 14 years later, and we're on the precipice of seeing Mass Effect
Look at
Legendary
that
Edition
difference, yo.
on
They got the
modern-day
Mass Effect
consoles and
3
PC
model.
to much fanfare, meaning I'd say the entire BioWare team delivered on that goal. We've been given early access to some footage that showcases dramatic updates to the original Mass Effect and a peek at how Mass Effect 2 and 3 will also be
forgot
improved.
the name of it.
But let's start with a closer
It's
look
on the
at
tip
the
of my
original,
tongue too. I
the
can't.
one that needed the
Ooh,
most care.
look at that.
Take a look at how it's been updated.
Look how
Beginning with the
different.
combat sequence, we get our first look at the updated HUD, and yes, your weapons will still use a cooldown system and not thermal clips like in Mass Effect 2 and 3. In
That's
addition,
cool.
the weapons use a different reticle, and there are no longer class-specific weapon restrictions that make certain guns unusable for certain classes.
I feel like that was a stupid
But let's talk about the
decision that
textures for a
ruins
second.
like
Using
the
AI upscaling, the new look
class.
of this garage scene on Noveria is night and day when compared to the 360. The specifics may appear subtle, but one I can point out in this scene is a much more natural, soft effect of the lighting. They're using ambient occlusion in the scene, which you can see more clearly on the boxes that emit shadows.
Okay. I like the HUD already though. It looks way more cleaner. Way more cleaner. And the gun sound. I like the gun sound, like it's not too
Stepping
bad.
away from combat for a moment, we also got a tour of the main hub in Noveria. This footage opens with an amazing look at the new female Shepard model as she exits the elevator. The character models looked a lot better in Mass Effect 3, and with the new character model feature, you can start Mass Effect 1 as that iconic female Shepard. The lighting and camera placement is changed here too, putting you a little bit closer to the characters as they move through the levels or down elevators. The Noveria port has been heavily reworked in Legendary Edition, and you see some small elements as you exit the elevator. Couches have cushions, and the textures on the walls and concrete floors have been reworked. In the main hallway, they've added light fixtures across the entire room and even removed large pieces of geometry that previously would break up your path. Here's what BioWare's Matt Walters had to say about why the wall was removed.
The wall and why the wall came down in Noveria, right? You'll see them probably more so throughout Mass Effect 1. They were really just meant for streaming occlusion, essentially sightlines, right? In large open spaces, which we had quite a few of in Mass Effect 1. Whatever the game has to render is going to start to hit your performance. So when you have a wall there, when you come off the elevator, it just means that you don't have to show the whole level and load the whole level and have everything on screen as soon as you get off the elevator. And so the art team wanted to try taking it out, and it worked great, and I think it looks awesome.
When you reach the garage with the Mako inside, you'll also notice an additional lighting in the room and objects that have been completely remodeled. Even on the Mako, there's texture and dirt on the tires, and it looks a lot more rugged and used. Looking at the provided Mako footage is really interesting to me because this is one of the key areas of the original that needed work. The original Mako was floaty, bouncy, and while I can't comment on how the Mako controls now, as I haven't played it yet, we did get to see two driving sections. The first is directly after you leave the Noveria port, and again, the new textures on the ice-covered mountain are immediately visible, but if you watch the Mako drive, you might notice some changes, like a boost feature.
Like Mass Effect Andromeda.
Here's BioWare producer Renato.
Mass Effect Andromeda's gameplay wasn't bad.
It is so much better now. We've made it better in that it handles better, it targets better. You know, we changed up the reticle when you're shooting with the Mako now so that it actually hits where you're aiming, which is very awesome, because it didn't used to do that before. You know, we've added boosters to it as well. We're still in the process of sort of tweaking it a little bit, so this clip right here is not necessarily representative of the end product, but it's got all the major improvements that we wanted. Now we're just playing around with, you know, how weighty does it feel, because it's still a little bit floaty, as you can see, but now it feels more, you know, like you're driving a tank and not, you know, the car that floats for some reason.
Later, we also got a peek at a Thresher Maw fight on Antibar that shows another gameplay addition. Yes, the Thresher Maw still moves around, but now with a trail so you have a clearer picture of where they're headed with each movement. That should result in fewer instant deaths. There's also a new sensory tentacle phase to the encounter, where you need to avoid the maw and the tentacles as you battle. At the finale, you can notice the plumes of smoke have a lot more body to them also. I'm a little more hopeful about the Mako after seeing this footage. All of this is on top of massively decreased loading times provided by hardware advances like faster hard drives. This is a side-by-side shot of the original and Legendary Edition. As you can see, you can choose to instantly be at your destination, while in the original, you would be waiting for a significant period of time.
14 seconds. Is that on next gen or like last gen? Because on next gen, I know it's gonna be fast, so I'm not sure if they're playing on next gen or not. But hey, I don't know. How long was that on the left side? 52
and
seconds.
Two smaller but important systems we gotta look at were the inventory system
this
and
looks way
character
better.
creator. So the inventory system has been reworked, and it seems you can more easily sort, dismantle, and compare your gear for you and your squad mates. This also applies
wasn't
to
that
the
bad
store,
on the other one,
which looks to give you different view options depending on what you're looking to buy and sell. The character creator, which allows you to create a character before you begin playing any of the games in the trilogy, is also drastically updated. The original benefits the most from this, and I've gone back to see how close I can get the 2007 character models to the new models, but the options just aren't comparable.
Yeah, they look way better now.
More makeup options, more skin
crazy.
tone options, and you're really allowed to go all out.
Mass Effect 2 now, so that was Mass Effect 1, now we're on Mass Effect 2. Let's see what they did with this.
We didn't see nearly as much, but there's a lot more detail in what we did see than I expected. The outfits have been reworked, meaning no more orange suits. And all of the outfits available in Mass Effect 3 are now available in Mass Effect 2. And while I don't have any fish at this point in my Mass Effect 2 save, what you should really be looking at is in the new game, as there are improved reflections on the tank itself.
So what we're doing there is instead of doing
but no fish tank, man.
What's called a render to texture. So you're basically just re-rendering the
fish tank is cool and all, but I want to see some gameplay tweaks or something.
You can imagine a scenario where if you use it in the wrong space, you're basically paying twice for your rendering, right?
The rest of the Normandy benefits tremendously from the facelift. In Lair of the Shadow Broker, the lighting has changed, as you can see in the distance, but most changes in this expansion are subtle. The 4K assets are very apparent, and they may have added a depth of field effect, which I noticed on the ship. In addition, there are a few moments where the new lighting reflects off of surfaces, like at the end of this footage when the array is retracted. Here's BioWare producer Brennan Holmes with a few thoughts.
Mostly it's just graphical improvements here, right? So like on the gameplay side, it's mostly just been bug fixes for Mass 2. We're pretty happy with where Mass 2 is at, but you can see sort of visual effects here, lighting's a lot better. I think I could probably talk a little bit about the DLC stuff as well in here. So it's now embedded in various stores, or you can get it through upgrades in the Normandy. Like DLC is always the fun time when it's, you know, you got all your tools and everything, and everyone just kind of goes crazy. And I remember them pitching this concept around like, yeah, let's have a fight on the outside of the ship, and it'll be like, you know, in the lightning storm with all this stuff going on. And that was just a really cool concept.
I would, and I want to see if they fix the AI for like your companions. Mass Effect 3.
Aliasing improvements.
This is my least favorite one.
At launch, I asked BioWare what players can expect for the third entry in the series. Here's what Mac Walters had to say about this already stellar entry.
I think it's in the sort of global improvements where you're going to feel it in ME3. The interesting thing there is we knew that Mass Effect 1 would need the most work, but we also wanted to leave everything on the table if there were things that we really wanted to improve there. And the more we sort of dug into 3, we felt like, look, we are more at risk of taking something that was pretty damn good and making it worse, or just making a lateral move where it's different, but is it actually better? And a lot of times we just said, yeah, no, it's fine. You know, gameplay, everything is good the way it is. There were bugs, and we couldn't fix all of them, but we fixed a lot of them, sort of thing, and we would find them all throughout all 3 games, sort of thing. So I think that's another thing. You probably would go, oh yeah, this feels less buggy, but if you were to play them side by side, you'd be like, oh okay, yes, I see what you did there. Putting them all together with all of the DLC, including things like, you know, armor packs and alternate appearances and stuff like that, and when you get all of that content together, and there is less of that sort of what I would call friction in Mass Effect 1 that kind of is like, oh boy, I like it, but it's really making me work for it. It does feel like a whole experience. It together feels very obviously modernized, but it just feels more than the sum of its parts.
So that was Mass Effect 1. Well, that was Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but let's talk about Mass Effect 1 for a second. They talked about the HUD, they changed the HUD. I like how it looks now. It looks a lot more cleaner. They talked about the gameplay, they tweaked things around, they changed the sounds of the guns, they changed like how far like the camera is and all that. They changed all that. Graphically, the game is gonna look way better, so that's a good thing. They changed the lighting, of course. Like, the lighting actually makes things look way better. Lighting changes everything about a game. Lighting changes everything. The Mako, they changed that. Oh my gosh, that Mako. Yo, the Mako in Mass Effect 1 is... that thing was like a bouncy ball. Now they changed it actually feels like a tank. And all that. And let me see if I forgot anything though. The character customization looks way more better. Just like I said, the character models look way more better. They changed some things around too, so like more things will have better textures and everything. Like the Mako looks like an actual vehicle now, like with the tiles and all that. It actually looks like one. Like, just things in general have better resolution. They changed everything. Okay, Mass Effect 2. Let's talk about Mass Effect 2. Basically, they kept the same gameplay with some tweaks in there. They added the clothes from Mass Effect 3. the DLC comes with it, and textures were enhanced. That's basically it for Mass Effect 2. Like they didn't really have to change anything with Mass Effect 2. Like Mass Effect 2, if I had to say the most perfect one in the whole series, it is the most perfect one. Like Mass Effect 1 had its problems. Mass Effect 2, I feel like the only issue in Mass Effect 2 was the ending. But like the ending, if you played the DLC at the end, that goes into Mass Effect 3, so that's why the ending was like that. But like they didn't really change anything in Mass Effect 2, just the gameplay. They tweaked that a little bit, and that's all. I was expecting a little bit more. Like I wonder if they changed the AI for your companions, because when you play on the harder difficulty, your companions, they suck. They really do. Like they have to make the companions actually smart. Like change the AI, make them smart. Don't make them stupid. Alright, Mass Effect 3. Now Mass Effect 3, I said this on multiple accounts. Mass Effect 3 is not my favorite one. Like it's my least favorite one. I feel like they kind of graphically it fell off. I think it fell off in Mass Effect 3. The graphics aren't as good as it was in Mass Effect 2. I feel like Mass Effect 2 was the best game graphically and gameplay wise and story wise. In Mass Effect 3, the graphics kind of fell down for me. The gameplay kind of fell down for me. It's just that game, like it's a good game. It's not a bad game, but it's not Mass Effect 1 or 2. It's just not. And I feel like Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay is better than Mass Effect 3 and 1. With 2, I could say it's better than 2, the gameplay in Mass Effect Andromeda. But like, I feel like in Mass Effect 3, they didn't really, it didn't hit for me. They fixed a lot of bugs in Mass Effect 3, graphically, lighting, they tweaked some things, but like, the question I have is, because I was watching this, and the guy said that this game, that Mass Effect 3 was perfect or something, and I get that everybody has their own opinion. The gameplay in Mass Effect 3 is not bad, it's cool. The multiplayer was actually really fun. I like the whole horror thing and all that was actually fun. But like, perfect game? Mass Effect 3 perfect? I beg to differ. I beg to differ on that. But everybody has their own opinion though. But I just don't feel like Mass Effect 3 is perfect in any way. In any way, first of all. And the ending of Mass Effect 3, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't a good ending. And I get that everybody, I get that it's their story, they can end it. And this is sort of like a Last of Us thing. It's their story, they can end it any way they want to. But now they're making a new Mass Effect game, and they showed in 7 that only means Shepard. Like, what are they gonna do with that now? Like, are they gonna, because you get to choose your ending in Mass Effect 3. Shepard lives on one of them, I think, and the other one dies, whatever. So what they gonna do with that game? Are they gonna bring back Shepard, or are they gonna do something different? Are you gonna play as Liara? I don't know. But all I gotta say is that this is a good thing for Mass Effect. I believe they're bringing back the series, and after lots of people didn't like Mass Effect Andromeda, this is the perfect way for them to actually not get back, but like gain lots of new fans and probably bring back some fans that lost hope in them. And with this entire trilogy, 4K remastered, gameplay tweaks, graphically insane, this is the perfect way for them to bring back fans and gain some fans. So like for the next game, a lot of people can be hyped for that, And Dragon Age, and I believe they can do this with Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age Origins, remaster that, upgrade that. Dragon Age 2, remaster that. And Dragon Age Inquisition, update the textures with that, and put that out. Because they're doing a new Dragon Age game, like they just had, like they was gonna make that game a games of service or something, and now they scratch that. Now they want to do a single player RPG game. Like, that's what I thought they was doing this entire time. But I guess they wasn't. They was really trying to go like an Anthem Destiny route, and that would have been insane. So I'm glad that they scrapped that, and now they're going with what worked. Like, why would you Dragon Age Inquisition won Game of the Year? Why would you not stick with something like that? That makes no sense in my opinion. No sense. But this video is gonna be really long, so tell me how you feel down below in the comment section. Are you getting this game day? Are you getting this franchise? Well, this game day one. Are you gonna pass on this? Yeah, just tell me how you feel down below. If you want me to react to any videos, put that down below too. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I see y'all in the next video. Peace.